Well, welcome back. Our next guest is the executive producer and host of her own show and host of the weekly webinar series, The Lunchtime Life. And she's here today to speak about how she got started and what motivated her to host her very own show. Please welcome to the show, Serena Goodman. Serena, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Dr. Abu. How are you?
I'm fine. So we are here to speak about what got you started in this. So tell us all about it.
Well, I started in television because I wanted a platform, right, to talk about all kinds of different topics. And I wanted to be able to just reach like everyday folks. And so that's how the Serena Goodman show started. But it started actually at BronxNet. So there was an executive producer there at BronxNet who came up with the idea, and we first started at BronxNet, and then later we brought it into Brooklyn. And that's been 14 years ago.
Wow.
The Serena Goodman show. Yeah, 14 years. It's been a wonderful platform, a wonderful springboard to everything else that I've done.
So it's a springboard. So what are some of the other things that you've done throughout the years?
Yeah, so out of the television show, out of that, it turned into a weekly show. At first, it was a monthly show. Then it turned into a weekly show. Then out of that, I started into ministry. So I also run a drama ministry, and I started doing faith-based stage and film productions. We won Best Spiritual Film of 2018. I've been the host of the Be Free Awards, the Satellite Be Free Awards for BRIC. 2 years in a row. I've been a recipient of 2 of those awards for Wild Stage Personality and also for Best Spiritual Film. It's blossomed into the drama room, the creation of the drama room. It's blossomed into the Lunchtime Lift. We're into our 40th week of webinars, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful journey. And it all started with that one idea.
Yeah. And it all started right here in the Bronx.
It started at BronxNet. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So you've come a long way.
A long way. But when I came to BronxNet, you know what? I came there as talent, right? I came there talent with responsibility. I always tell that. But my responsibility was to bring the food. So I came to BronxNet as the talent on the stage, but that wasn't enough. I wanted to have more input on the contents. And in order for me to be able to do that, I needed to know what I was talking about. So I became a certified producer. So I'm able to work audio. I'm able to work cameras. I'm able to lay lines, everything. And that was important to me. It made it from being talent with responsibilities of bringing the food for all of its crew, and it turned me into the executive producer.
And well, you climbed those steps, I tell you. And guess what? You're still bringing the food.
Yeah. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's just different. It's just different food and no aluminum pans, but food just the same. Food for thought every single day. That's right.
Serena, tell us about this fantastic show that you have, the Lunchtime Lift. Does it stimulate you mind, body, and spirit?
Absolutely. We started it on April 6th, right in the thick of the pandemic. And we wanted to come up with something that we could do that would really bring some information and resources to the community and to the world. And so I started this webinar. It's been 40 weeks now. So we're on to our 40th week, and we've brought some wonderful topics, some healing topics about essential employers, topics about autism and COVID, how COVID have impacted so many different areas of our life, mental health, substance abuse. We even had people on from the Grief Network to talk about how to handle grief for people who've lost loved ones due to COVID-19. So it's just been a wonderful journey. And it started off with an idea, and 40 weeks later, here we are.
Here we are. And what are some of the things that you spoke about when you were talking about healing? Because, a lot of people need that right about now, whether it be mind, body.
Yeah. Well, so yesterday I had on someone, her name is Tenaria Drummond Smith, and she's an author. And she did a book that's called The Inspirational Journey. And so in that journal, you get an opportunity to think through this process, to try to get into our own selves and understand how to navigate through this process. And I always say to everyone, look, 2020, when we were kids and we went to the eye doctor, and the doctor said, no, she don't need glasses. She see clearly. She got 20/20 vision. Last year was the year of clarity. It was a year for us to get clear vision. And now we have to take that clear vision that we have from 2020 and move it into 21, reshape and reform our lives, and get a better understanding of who we are. The pause from last year was necessary. I don't think we would have done as much self inventory, enough of looking around in our surroundings and humanity. We would not have done that had it not been for the pause.
So the pandemic or the pause helped you out with your 2020 vision.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I learned more last year than I've learned in many years about people, about myself, about how I think, and why I think the way that I think. So it was a monumental year. Of course, there's a lot of horrific things that came out of 2020, but there are some things that we really needed to know about ourselves.
How has your faith impacted your show and some of the things that you think about and all the things that you do in putting all of this together?
Well, once I got called to the ministry, so I'm a ministry leader at Christ Fellowship Baptist Church. I run the drama ministry. I've been doing that for about 5 years.
Uh-huh.
The work that I do is always inspirational and motivational. I do not write, produce, or direct any pieces of work that does not offer inspiration or motivation to someone else. That's my goal. Of course, to win souls, and at the same time to make sure those who feel hopeless know that there's hope. So without
like it.
I can't do this. I can't do this job. I can't.
Yeah.
And I used to do commercials like about cognac. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I didn't feel fulfilled. I got paid.
Yeah.
But I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't fulfilled.
Yeah, I had to turn a lot of that stuff down because of my involvement visiting schools throughout the tri-state area, the WBS On Time program, and the Make the Grade Foundation. So I turned down $100,000 contracts, with Remy Martin and O English 800 and all these beer commercials, So I mean, needed the money, but you had to put things in its place.
You have to, but you can't serve two masters.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. You can't serve two masters. That's the bottom line. Yeah. So you have to make a decision at some point in your life what course you're going to take, and that's the only course for me. So that's what I'll do for the rest of this journey. It's something that inspires others.
How can we latch on and check you out and watch some of your show?
So of course on Facebook we have a lot of the shows are on Facebook, on YouTube. You can always reach me on Facebook. On YouTube we have quite a few of the shows that's already uploaded, but also they could tune in on Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 1:00 is the lunchtime lift. We're gonna lift you up and get you through the rest of your week. There you go. So every Wednesday at 1:00 you can go onto the lunchtime lift, and it's at obtjobs.org/webinar. And whenever you go there, we'll go right into it. So it's obtjobs.org/webinar, and you can tune into the lunchtime lift every Wednesday. Now, the Serena Goodman show that's been on for 14 years, like I told you, it started at BronxNet, and I then later took it to then BCAT, which is now Brick. 14 years later, I'm on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Brick. So you can just Google that and come right onto the Brick Network on Channel 1 on Tuesdays at 7:00. Yeah.
Ooh, you work in the media. Look at that. TV. Now we're gonna get your radio show.
Yes. Well, I'm starting a new podcast that's going to launch this Sunday. It's called the Business of Marriage. So myself and my new co-host is going to be doing a podcast, and that podcast will hopefully help people who are, even if they're not married yet, or if they're married and they have questions about marriage, then that's what we're going to address on that podcast. So we want to keep it real because marriage is a business, right? It's a merging of two companies. I merge my company with his company or her company, and together we want to make sure that's a good union. But there's some questions and things you got to ask before you get to that point. Right?
Ooh, do you?
Yes, indeed.
Serena, thank you so much. Serena Goodman.
Thank you.
The show. You should know. Thanks for joining us. We had a great time with you. Thanks for all that wonderful information. Unfortunately, this is what happens all the time at the end of the show. That's all the time we have for today's show. And I want to thank you, our guests, for joining us, and you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. You can keep following BronxNet TV for continued coverage. I want to thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. And always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. The Dr. Bob Lee. I'll catch you another day, another way. In fact, I'll see you over 107.5 WBLS. I love you all. Peace.